First of all, forgive me for my sore-sounding throat. My throat is indeed sore, but I am working through that pain to bring you this very impotent announcement. Recently, I have made several videos about the lack of FCC's enforcement on the ham radio, CB radio, and GMRS airwaves. And every single time that I make one of those videos, some people breathlessly rage comment or send me email or both declaring that I am wrong. They then go on to proclaim that there are dozens of instances of the FCC's contacting people every single month for breaking the rules on ham radio, CB radio, or the GMRS airwaves. But never, not one time have they included any record or any source for all of this alleged FCC's activity. And every time I look for any record of these FCC's contacts in the official source for FCC's contacts and enforcements, which is the FCC's own FCC Enforcement database, I never find anything. And the reason for this is that because as a YouTube superstar, and I want you to listen closely, I am never wrong. Thankfully, though, a regular person, my new friend Lance, contacted me saying the same thing that some people have been saying all along about these FCC encounters. However, my new friend Lance actually included the source of his misinformation, allowing me to finally get to the root of all of this confucularity. And that source of confuculation is QST Magazine, which is the monthly membership journal of the ARRL. The ARRL, also known as the American Radio Relay League of Gentlemen, is basically a big ham radio club. And each month in the ARRL's QST Magazine, you will find a monthly monitoring program report summary. And this summary outlines some of the activities of the ARRL's volunteer monitoring program, which is a program sanctioned by the FCC's for ARRL volunteers to monitor the ham radio airwaves for ne'er-do-wells and to file complaints with the FCC for flagrant ongoing violations. So the way it works is, if one of these ham radio volunteers hears someone on the ham radio airwaves being a dickhead, the ARRL will send the dickhead an ARRL advisory notice, basically informing the scofflaw of his criminal activities and letting the scofflaw know that any further criminal activities on the ham radio airwaves could result in a complaint to the FCC's. So allow me to be clear. These ARRL advisory notices are not FCC enforcements. These ARRL advisory notices are not FCC actions, and these ARRL advisory notices have nothing to do with the FCC's. An advisory notice is, according to the ARRL, an attempt to resolve rule violation issues informally before FCC's intervention. Now, I am not in any way inferring that these advisories are completely pointless, because the ARRL does work with the FCC's, and the FCC's says that they treat an ARRL complaint with higher priority than a complaint sent to the FCC's from normal people. But the point here is that the volunteers issuing these advisory notices are not the FCC's any more than school crossing guards are the police. And in addition, according to the ARRL, their voluntary force only monitors the ham radio airwaves. It does not include CB radio or GMRS radio airwaves, as some people have claimed. So it would seem to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure that Some people are already frantically rage typing their corrections, but it seems to me that an advisory notice from the ARRL carries about as much weight as me sending a postcard from Dollywood whilst on vacation. Although, granted, any actual complaints submitted to the FCCs from the ARRL are given a higher priority at the FCCs from complaints submitted from everyone else. However, when you consider the actual number of enforcement actions that the FCCs has taken in the last several years, which, as best as I can find, according to the FCC's enforcement database, is less than 10 or so, not per year, but in total over the last 10 or 12 years, it would seem that these ARRL advisory notices do not amount to much more than a friendly and probably often helpful reminder to ham radio operators transmitting on ham radio frequencies to follow the ham radio rules. And these friendly and helpful advisory notices from the ARRL should be in no way confused with actual FCC actions.